these rules and regulations that some of these presidents, governors know how to like implement them. Sometimes I feel like it's very, very funny. But anyways, this is not actually my regular kind of content, but I saw this. I was like, it is very important for me to like put it out here so that I will hear from you guys as well. So now the law is if you do not have children, right, you have to pay higher taxes. If you don't have kids, you have to pay higher taxes. And why this is quite surprise to me is what of people that choose not to have kids? What of people that their childhood has literally been traumatized and they decided that, okay, this is not what I want to actually do? What are people that I said, okay, I want to have kids, but it's not now because there are a lot of things that is circulating childbearing, training up a child, and so on and so forth, right? But when I saw that this law was passed, a lot of people have their own opinion to say, and I said let me actually bring it down here so that we'll digest it together. Anyways, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share, and credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And guys, with that being said, let's go ahead, let's roll out the clip so that you guys can actually watch our back with commentaries just for educational purposes only.
So guys, if you now live in the UK and you don't have children, you now may be subject to the no kids tax or the child free tax, of which may be implemented now under a reform UK government. You see, under this new policy, people who do not have children should pay more tax. You heard that right. Instead of actually helping those or giving benefits to those who have more children, let's penalise those who chose to not go down that financial and mental route. Now, to be specific, Goodwin, a Reform UK candidate, actually proposed this as the negative child benefit tax. And the purpose is quite literally in the name, is to tax anyone without any offspring and to actually remove personal income tax to any woman with more than 2 children. He frames this to reinforce family values alongside reinforcing the nuclear family. Now already, don't you think it's very interesting how they surround this entire thing around women, not men and women? It's almost as if they know that this is going to be specifically and disproportionately targeting women with this tax. And so if you need any more of a reason to vote against this godforsaken party that's actively trying to poison this country, and if you want to respect the autonomy of your own body and not feel pressured to do anything else with it, maybe, just maybe, you should vote against this madness.
If you don't have kids, you should pay more tax. Matt Goodwin, Reform UK's candidate in Gordon and Denton, floated the idea that people without children should be hit with a negative child benefit tax, effectively punishing adults for not reproducing. It's a policy that reads like social coercion, one that would disproportionately hit women, the disabled, people struggling with infertility, carers, and anyone who's looked at the cost of living and thought, quite reasonably, now is not the time. That's not even accounting for those of us who just don't want kids full stop. What makes this even more absurd is that the UK already does exactly what Goodwin claims to want. Child benefit, tax-free childcare, and child tax credits already redistribute money towards families with children. That's the carrot. What he's proposing is the stick, an explicit financial penalty for people whose lives don't fit his preferred demographic model. In a country where housing is unaffordable, childcare costs are extortionate, wages are stagnant, and public services are collapsing, the idea that the solution is to fine people for not having kids is beyond parody. If Reform UK wants to be taken seriously as a party of government, it might want to start by abandoning the idea that the tax system should be used to punish people for not living the right kind of life, and by asking why figures like Matt Goodwin just keep revealing how thin that seriousness really is.
And if you have an issue with me or any other woman in the UK who chooses to not have children, especially now due to the child-free tax, of which penalises those who choose to not have kids, maybe first before you tax us, you should be asking us if it's even economically viable for us to have them in the first place. It is so expensive to have a child in this godforsaken country. Just ask any parent, just ask any mother. And in all honesty, I really do wish that this world was a good enough place for me to birth a child into. But I, in my good conscience, cannot go to sleep at night knowing that I birthed a child into a world where the people who run the government fuck and eat babies. I cannot, in my good conscience, birth a child into this world, but I fully understand and respect that there are some people in this world that still want to do that, and that's fine. But just like religion, just like sexuality, do not force your beliefs onto me, because for us other women, there's absolutely no incentive for us to have children, especially not in this country of which has never given back, especially not to mothers. So how dare you try to force me or penalise me or any other woman who doesn't respectfully want to be a part of that? And we child-free by choice women, we will sooner flee this country in gleeful abandon in opposed to being some sort of sacrificial lamb to the sinking ship that this country is clearly becoming. coming.
Oh my God, have you heard? So from today, you'll be tasked for not having children in the UK. So according to the UK government, so if you live in the UK and you do not have children, you will be subject to the no kids tax or the child-free tax, which will be implemented in the UK as soon as possible. So under this new policy, people who do not have children are going to be paying more tax. Yes, you heard that right. So instead of actually helping people or giving benefits to those who have more children, they choose not to go down to that financial and mental route. So to be specific, Goodwin, a Reform UK candidate, actually proposed this as the negative child benefit tax, which says anyone without any offspring and had to actually remove personal income tax, that is to any woman with more than 2 children. This is to reinforce the nuclear family. Are they trying to force women to start having kids? Because enforcing tax on women, families that do not have children, simply means that they are forcing people to go and have children. Yes. What do you think, guys? Anyways.
Reform's Matt Goodwin wants to get women pregnant and make you pay for it. Alright, we get a lot of Reform bots complaining in the comments here about why should we pay for other people's children and stuff like that. But this is exactly what was proposed just a couple of years ago in a blog post from Reform's Matt Goodwin, where he suggests that people without children should be given higher rates of tax to subsidise people with children. In fact, he proposes that women with 2 or more children should pay no income tax at all, suggesting we're all going to be supporting these big families. Now, there are 2 possible explanations for this. Number 1, Matt Goodwin is a complete flip-flop artist who'll say anything for the moment that seems to work. Number 2, he's actually quite consistent but is lying to you, and Reform have got some very different plans. Neither are a good look. Which one is it?
Tax for childless women? Are you serious? So in the UK, a party called Reform, one of their candidates has said that if they win the next election, whenever that may be, introducing a childless tax for people. They'll remove the tax for women who have 2 children or more. So you're saying you're going to tax women who don't have children. So 1, some women choose not to have children just because it's something they want to do. 2, that some people who want to have children can't, and some of that's because of health conditions like endo and adeno, and then face struggles actually trying to get help for the fertility. So they either, like myself, had to be with a partner trying for a child for at least 2 years before they'd refer me, or it's a postcode lottery. So in some areas of the UK you can get IVF, and in some areas of the UK you can't. So it's an absolute nightmare, because we do already struggle to be seen and heard about our health conditions, and then now we're going to be penalised because we can't have children, or choose not to because maybe we don't want to pass on our conditions to our children. And then those women who do want children or want to go on to have children can face barriers financially. The cost of childcare is astronomical in the UK. So for those returning to work, part-time is pretty much out of the question, because the amount you earn will be how much you're paying in childcare fees. And for those who don't have a partner, it's practically impossible to return to work unless you're on a really high salary. Now, they're just some of the things that play into this. And it just really frustrates me that I don't even think whoever came up with this idea has even taken that into consideration. It's just another way to try and tax us again. It's just absolutely diabolical. So please, whenever the next election may be, because that's a different topic, please do not vote Reform if you care about women's rights. There are many other reasons not to vote for them, but that is just the one that we're going to talk about today. And I don't normally get into politics on here, but this does directly affect women, especially women with health conditions.
So Reform UK now want to tax women who don't have children.
You could be forced by the state to have children. To every single woman in the UK.
Reform UK's candidate for the by-election in Gorton and Denton, Matt Goodwin, has suggested imposing a negative child benefit tax on women who do not and do not plan to have children. And yes, this is a fucking Handmaid's Tale come to life. See, this proposal does affect men and women, but it is targeted towards women mainly. If this was ever to be passed, there would be pressure on women to have children when they do not want children in order to financially survive. That's a direct attack on fucking women's rights and human rights. But let's not worry too much about human rights, because Nigel Farage does want to take us out of the European Commission for Human Rights. So don't worry about that, because we won't actually have any human rights if we do vote Reform UK. Now, Matt Goodwin has also suggested that he removes personal income tax for women who have 2 or more children, again encouraging women to birth offspring that they do not necessarily want in order to be controlled financially. Matt Goodwin also says that he wants to create a pro-family culture in the UK, having a national day to celebrate parenthood. Now, he is proposing that this National Family Day is really special if you have 3 or more children, because you could receive a telegram from the King. If you didn't know that this lunatic is also a presenter 3 times a week on GB News. Now, if you are considering voting for Reform UK in the next election and you follow my account, then I'm not going to ask you to unfollow me, but I am going to ask that you go back and watch the videos that I've created and you educate yourself. And especially if you're part of the queer community or you're a woman, you are simply aiding in stripping back the rights that we have fought for years to achieve. I do believe that the way forward is communication. I think that things are too polarised in this country, and I do think that if we talk to each other and understand each other's views more, then that is the way forward. Now remember to share this with anyone who needs to know, and follow me for more information on feminism, politics and the LGBTQ+ community. And remember guys, we've got this.
Anyways, welcome back guys. People choose not to have kids for many different reasons. Some are practical, some emotional, and some philosophical. Here are the most common ones. Financial reasons. Cost of raising a child, housing, childcare, education, health center is quite expensive. Student loan or personal debt, desire for financial freedom or early retirement, economic instability or job insecurity. Second reason, career and personal goal. 1. Focus on career growth or entrepreneurship, desire for flexibility, travel, relocation, long working hours, pursuing education or creative passion, not wanting career interruption, especially for women. Now, the third one is lifestyle preference, which is valuing independence and personal time, enjoying spontaneous travels and freedom, preference for a quieter, less structured life, not wanting long-term responsibility. The fourth one is lack of desire. Simple, not feeling a strong desire to be a parent, not enjoying being around children, feeling unfulfilled without parenting. The fifth one is mental and emotional health, concerning about passing on trauma or mental health condition, managing anxiety, depression, or other conditions, feeling emotionally unprepared for parenting. Let's talk about the relationship factors. We are not having a suitable partner disagreement about children, prioritizing the relationship itself. The seventh one, which is health and biological reasons, infertility, pregnancy risk, chronic illness, genetic concern. Let's talk about the environment and ethical concern, which is climate change, overpopulation, concern about the future of society, and ethical belief about reproduction. Let's talk about the ninth one, which is past experience, where you have difficult childhood, being parentified at a young age, caring for siblings or relatives early in life. Then let's talk about the 10th one, which is the desire for a different kind of impact, which is wanting to mentor, focal, volunteer, or support children in other ways, choosing to invest in community activists or career instead, Some people decide early and feel confident. Others go back and forth for years, and some want kids, but circumstances could not allow them. Can this government understand that? Because why do you want to tell me that you're enforcing a law that people that literally do not have child will now be paying higher tax, knowing fully well that some of these reasons might not just all be centered because they just don't want to have children or because they just don't want to have kids. A lot of people are suffering from fertility issues. They want to have kids. They have been trying, they have been spending, they have been going back and forth, but still they are not able to achieve that. A lot of people have gone through a lot of trauma, and at the end of the day, that trauma alone has given them this stigma that they don't want to actually reproduce a child into a society that will let those children go into that same certain trauma. A lot of people have done early parenting with their siblings, became mothers, became fathers at a very tender age that they were never prepared for. And at the end of the day, they saw the responsibility, they saw everything it actually came out with, and they decided not to have kids. A lot of people have decided that they do not want to have kids because they want to be in the volunteering charity organization to be able to help other children, foster care, and so on and so forth, open up an orphanage, it's just a whole lot that comes with childbearing. So honestly, when I saw that UK is trying to implement this, or they have literally even implemented, because I don't want to like draw my line on they have, maybe they are trying or they have, at the end of the day, for me, I don't think this is actually a good one. As far as I'm concerned, if they would have just said, okay, for those ones that don't have kids, we need to know your reasons, we need to know why you don't have kids, then we'll know if the tax is going to be fairer on your own end. And another annoying part is this literally centered on women, and of which it is more even frustrating. And it's not more crazy that if you have more than 2 kids, it's going to come with another circumstances on its own. So you have an issue. You don't have, you have an issue. You have and it's plenty, you will still have an issue. So what do we do in this position? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And guys, thank you so much for staying stick and hook with me to the end of this video. Yes, so that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Let me know your opinion in the comment section. Educational purposes only. I love you guys. Mwah.